We think it's time for Goyder to step down, to have a clear succession plan in place. And it's also important to recognise that Richard Goyder is just one of the board members. He's the first among equals as far as being the chair. So it's time for the whole board to reflect on their role over this period of time and the oversight of the former CEO and the management team.
Are you saying you would like the entire board to step down?
We think it is time for the board to reflect on what skills they need to change the culture and ensure that there is a focus on the customer going forward, and that may require change on the board.
When you spoke to this program recently, you outlined concerns about the impact of changing the CEO and the chair at or around the same time. You're now suggesting to us that perhaps the entire board should step down as well. What impact will that have on Qantas?
There needs to be a clearly timed plan as far as succession, so it may be that the board does need to step down. You don't want that all done at the one time when you've got a new CEO in place. So it's working through the succession plan. The chair is responsible for that, and the board need to consider what's appropriate and what skills they really need to make change around culture and a focus on the customer and to support a new CEO that they have in place.
When do you want Richard Goyder to step down?
We want to hear from him at the AGM. I think it would be appropriate for it to happen afterwards.
Why is it that you believe he can't turn Qantas around?
So many facts have come to light which question the ability to oversight the CEO and the management team, and questions around the timing of a payment of Alan Joyce's share sale, and that is a concern to retail shareholders.
Richard Goyder said shareholders were supportive of him staying in the job. Did you tell him that? What has changed?
I haven't heard that, to be honest, Kirsten. What I've been hearing from retail shareholders that change is required and that Richard Goyder should step down. Now, that dialogue has been changing over the last few weeks as more issues come to light, but it's clear there is a leadership change required. The board have made a decision around the CEO. That's their role to make, a decision around who the CEO is. Now they need to reflect on what they knew at what time, what was appropriate, and the risks that they oversight. So the board does need to contemplate themselves and the skills required for the future.
Is Vanessa Hudson's position as CEO now untenable?
I don't think it's untenable at this stage, but it could become untenable depending on what information comes out, particularly around the ACCC allegations that are going through the High Court and what she may have known at that point in time.
Vanessa Hudson's task now is to put some distance between decisions of the past, decisions that she was a part of as CFO. How is she going to be able to repair the incredible brand damage that has been done to Qantas?
Shareholders are hopeful that she can make a change. Given the questions around the chair, and they're being directed to her, which is a very difficult role to be in, she needs to make sure that she really takes a leadership role and changes the organisation and changes it fast. And everyone, consumers, investors, want that to happen.
The annual general meeting at the beginning of November is shaping up to be a very fiery event. Will we see a first strike against directors' remuneration?
I think it's a possibility. So all investors have the opportunity to vote at the AGM, and I would encourage all investors and retail shareholders to do just that.
Finally, can you tell us about the further reaction that you have received from shareholders? The position of the Shareholders Association has changed significantly in the weeks since we last spoke.
Yeah, more and more things come to light. Retail shareholders are disappointed as consumers around the service that they have received. They're also concerned around the fact that there was a really great year for Qantas, nearly $2.5 billion there in net underlying profit. And now it looks like there are fines, compensation required, fleet upgrades. There's a lot of costs coming the way to shareholders, and so we need confidence around what's next and that leadership is in place and they're fixing the issues.